Right now I am rendering my first video with the new Santa Monica series kit. If you are watching this, there is a high probability that you have already seen this video, but as of right now it is rendering. And I think there are probably a few things that need to be explained, so let's head to the practice room where they are right now and talk about it. Okay, so I want to address what I imagine would be the two biggest questions people might be asking if they're watching this video. One, what is the Santa Monica series? And two, what is that finish? So let me address those. First of all, the Santa Monica series is a new shell type from DW that is under the Collector Series umbrella. So just like in the Collector Series, you've got maple mahogany, pure maple, birch, all the different wood types, all the SSC kits, all within the Collector Series. This is another shell formula within the Collector Series called Santa Monica. The reason it's called Santa Monica is because it harkens back to their original shell formula that was being made for them back when the factory was in Santa Monica. I believe those shells were being made for them by Keller back in the 80s, and they were 6-ply maple shells, just like the current standard maple shells, but what was different is that they were 1/32 of an inch thick plies rather than what is currently 1/36 of an inch. So they're thicker plies, which makes an overall thicker shell. And apparently those shells back in the 80s were replicating the LA era Camcos. So in a way, the Santa Monica series is kind of a recreation of a recreation. But in any case, it's, I believe, the thickest shell that DW makes right now. And what's cool about it, at least at the moment, is that this is a shell type that has sort of had a soft release this year. And by that I mean, you probably haven't seen any promo or any sort of advertising from DW that this shell type even exists. But you can order it. If you go to any dealer, they might not even know that it exists. But if you go to any of your dealers, you will be able to order any kit you want in the Santa Monica series. So according to DW, sound-wise, in the spectrum of high to low timbre shells, these are the brightest, the highest timbre shells that you can possibly get from DW. So if you've got like maple mahogany, classic series, all that have a very low natural fundamental pitch, so kind of like my jazz series mahogany kit, which has a very low natural fundamental pitch, these are about as high as it gets. So it's kind of a polar opposite to the other kit that I already have. So the other thing I imagine you might be wondering is, what is that finish? And this is actually a combination of two of my favorite finishes from DW. One of them is a tropical olive with a natural rally stripe. And when I first saw pictures of that kit out in the wild, I was just stunned. That was the best DW finish I had ever seen. And then as I was doing more research about the exotic veneers, I saw African Chechen, which similarly just floored me. And so what I actually did before ordering this kit, I flew down with my dad to DW to take the factory tour, meet some of the people that would be working on the kit, and then look at some of the veneers and actually see the woods in person. And I know this may seem incredibly excessive, but this was kind of supposed to be my no compromises, kind of last, final, most high-end kit that I'd ever want or need. And so I don't know, I felt like it was kind of a part of the experience to go down to DW and do that. And my dad went with me because he is also a drum builder. He builds many things, but recently he's been building snare drums. You may have seen some of them on this channel, but he was just curious about the building process as well. More about that in a second. But anyways, I went down and I talked to them at the factory and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a Santa Monica series in an exotic finish. And I was kind of thinking of this tropical olive with the kind of natural rally stripe around it. They go, oh yeah, we don't have any more tropical olive. I thought, oh, okay. I said, well, another finish I really loved is African Chechen. They go, oh yeah, we got African Chechen. So they pull some of it out, they spray it with water so that, you know, I can kind of see how it's gonna pop once it's under the lacquer. And so I start talking to them and asking, you know, is it possible for you to do that rally stripe from that one kit around the African Chechen from this kit? They're saying, oh yeah, of course. Louis Garcia, the painter, you know, he can do anything. And so I was super excited. I thought, okay, cool. That's like the combination of my two favorite finishes ever. And no one will have a kit like it. It'll be a completely unique kit. So that's what I ended up going with. And then at the same time, I didn't realize this, but my dad asked them if he could get some of the African Chechen veneer to try and make the matching snare to go with this kit. And I thought for sure that they would deny that request. But to my great surprise, they agreed, which is extremely cool of them, a very, very special thing that they did. And the snare hasn't been built yet, but I'm sure that'll show up on this channel as well at some point. But yeah, so there'll be a handmade matching snare with the African Chechen that my dad built. So very cool experience. As far as buying a high-end drum set goes, I don't think it really gets much better than that. And actually there is one more component, there's one more little secret about the finish that I don't think I'm gonna mention in this video. I think I'll maybe save it for another video. But yeah, it's kind of a one more thing moment, but I think I'll leave that as a cliffhanger. But in any case, the finish is an exotic African Chechen with, I don't know what they exactly call this rally stripe, but I call it just kind of a natural rally stripe. So the last question I imagine anyone might be asking who's watching this video is, why would you buy this? If you've watched any of my videos before, I assume you've seen my Vintage Marine Pearl DWs, Jazz Series mahogany shells. I love those drums. And the reason I got this, actually when I bought those, the Jazz Series kit, I kind of always knew that this kit would be coming down the pipeline. Throughout my entire life, I've always wanted an exotic DW kit, and I've actually had several DW kits in the past. I've never had an exotic, but I've had several DW kits in the past, but they were always purchased kind of used or at a good deal with the intention of selling later until I finally got the kits that I wanted to keep forever. So when I bought the Jazz Series kit a couple years ago, I purposely got a finish ply kit because I wanted something that was durable and that I could kind of, beat up and take to gigs, and gig with. But I knew that I would also want another kit down the line with an exotic finish. So I just kind of had this moment earlier this year where it felt like the right time to get this kit. By the way, I ordered this back in March. It is November right now, so I have had to wait a little bit for this kit and not spoil the surprise. But I'm still just kind of shocked and awed at how well it turned out, how amazing the finish looks, how well it complements the kit I already have. And yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the folks at DW that put up with me and worked with me through this whole process. It was really a spectacular way to buy a drum set. And then also, of course, a shout out to Don Bennett Drum Studio, the store that I work at. I definitely wouldn't have been able to buy this without them. So if you are interested in getting a DW kit, custom kit like this, or anything else, you can hit me up or just hit any of us up at the shop at Don Bennett Drum Studio, and yeah, we'll get you what you need. So thank you for listening to me ramble. If you have any questions about this kit, if you're at all curious about the Santa Monica series or exotic finishes or anything else, DW or whatever, feel free to ask. You can also feel free to like and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.